When indigenous people first traveled through the Athabasca Valley thousands of years ago, they were focused on hunting and gathering. They were for the most part nomadic, traveling to areas where food was abundant. While they sometimes used the same campsites repeatedly, they did not leave much evidence of their travels. They used every part of the animal they hunted. Meat for food, skins to keep them warm, and bones for tools. In such a harsh environment, there was little to waste. When European explorers arrived in the Athabasca Valley, they brought trade items that were highly valued by the indigenous people. Indigenous people traded their furs for metal traps, knives, pots, and needles, making their lives a little easier. Most of these items could be repaired or repurposed if damaged, and very little was discarded. As trade routes were established, a fur trading post called Jasper House was established near Brule Lake and later moved to Jasper Lake. People spent more time in the area, and while there was not a lot of waste, remnants of their garbage can still be found. Traded beads, metal buckles, and door latches that were lost or discarded become today's artifacts. By the 1800s, some of the indigenous and Métis families established homesteads in the Athabasca Valley, and each had some place where garbage was burned or buried. People began traveling into the area, exploring, or traveling east and west through the mountains. So in addition to metal items, glass bottles started to appear, but they were easily reused. With the arrival of the railway, thousands of men, horses, and machinery traveled through the narrow corridor of the Athabasca Valley, building camps to support the business of moving people and goods across Canada. Some of these camps were short-lived, but the garbage remained, sometimes burned or buried, but often tossed over the riverbanks. Railway sections and stations were established along the track, and more people resulted in more garbage. By the early 1900s, pieces of machinery, tin cans, broken glass, crates, and discarded clothing all piled up in regular locations in the newly formed Jasper Forest Park. Because goods were being shipped by rail, they were more easily obtained and more likely to be packaged. This meant more garbage. The town of Jasper, known as Fitzhugh until 1913, began to grow as railway workers, guides, and outfitters and their families moved in. Once tourism sprang up in Jasper, hotels and restaurants were built. All of these generated garbage, and it was no longer possible to dump refuse behind houses and businesses. Everyone kept garbage barrels in the back alleyways, and the garbage was taken to one of several dumps in the area. Now never one to miss an opportunity for free food, bears began to frequent the town, knocking over the trash barrels and rummaging in the dumps. Almost immediately, people realized that some of these bears were regulars and could be fed. Visitors to Jasper expected to see bears and were delighted that it was so easy to take photographs of these cooperative animals. But things quickly became a problem. Cleaning up spilt garbage cans in the morning was a chore, and people were afraid to walk the streets at night for fear of tripping over a bear. Bears became emboldened and started ripping open doors and windows to get food. People were being injured by the bears, and the bears were not healthy. They were becoming obese from feeding out of the dump. Initiatives were established to educate residents and visitors about bears and garbage. Dumps were centralized, and people were instructed to secure their garbage cans. That was easier said than done, for every time a new type of bear-proof container was built, the bears figured out how to outsmart it. Once the town had proper containers and garbage pickup, the problem of the dump had to be solved. Bears went over or dug under the fences of the dump, so electric fences and gates had to be built. All garbage had to go to one location, and everyone had to follow the rules. It took many years to get everyone to realize the importance of keeping bears healthy. Reusing, recycling, and composting are now part of our daily lives, but the logistics of each of these initiatives had to be sorted with bears in mind. Now we tell visitors why it's a good thing not to see bears in town. And with luck, they might catch a glimpse of one, at a safe distance, in the wild. To learn more about Jasper's evolution of garbage, you can look for these kiosks around town. Buy or borrow a copy of Bears in the Alley, among other places. Take a walk down Jasper's alleyways and look for the creative ways that Jasperites have tried to fortify their garbage containers. And look for the Jasper the Bear garbage cans, built by several Jasper businesses to encourage people to stop littering. One can be found at the Jasper-Yellowhead Museum and Archives. If you enjoyed this program and would like to see more, please visit our page to watch other videos, or visit the museum when it's safe to do so.